What is good, guys? It is Reed and welcome back to another video. Today I got an awesome video. This is going to be sort of a follow-up to a video I put out several weeks ago on the CC Triumph, on the color changing Triumph. If you haven't seen that video, highly recommend you go check it out. It is an absolutely incredible color changing Triumph. Now that Triumph was actually birthed off of a routine that I had to create for the Sleight Off Season 2 Episode 1. Now if you haven't seen the Sleight Off, go check it out. It's an awesome magic competition series between me and other magicians on YouTube. Make sure you stay tuned for the Sleight Off 2024. Now, while I did teach the CC Triumph, how it was then adapted from the Sleight Off routine and the version that I actually do perform, I wanted to share as well the tutorial for the actual Sleight Off performance, what I actually did in that performance. Some of you may like this routine better. It's got some more layers, a lot more going on. It is more difficult too. And that comes down to the restrictions that I had to use in the Sleight Off, but it is a pretty cool routine nonetheless, and for completeness, I wanted to share it here with you guys. Now, this does use Danny Ortiz's Open Triumph, so I highly recommend you go pick up that project. It is an absolutely incredible Triumph that is almost a must-know if you want to perform this effect. It's like $10, it's well worth it, guys. Incredible Triumph, and I used that idea here. Now, I won't be really diving into how it all works here in this video, but I will show you the moment at which you would use it, so I'd highly recommend you check that out. But let's not waste too much more time. If you guys would like to check out a private lesson, you can at the link below. Also, if you want to join my new membership, the Mentalist tier, where I'll be making videos breaking down every single page from practical mental magic. This is like the Royal Road to Card Magic, but for mentalism. And I know reading's not for everyone, so there's going to be a full video masterclass going over everything in this entire book, from moves to about 200 different effects and routines. It is absolutely incredible. And if you want to check out those videos right here on YouTube, just join the Mentalist membership tier at the link below. But with all that said, guys, let's not waste any more time. Don't forget to like this video, give it a comment if you'd like to see more, and let's jump right in.
Anyway, so I like to start, I'll give these cards a bit of a shuffle, but it's not super important because we're just going to take the top four and use those. Now, I'll give you guys a second to try to memorize those. Not super important, but sort of just think 7, 4, 5, king, all right? Now I'll take those cards and we'll leave them about halfway down in the middle of the pack, sort of like that. Now, I've been working pretty hard on this trick, and I gotta say it is pretty awesome. Hold on. Oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry. This is Triumph week. I'm definitely supposed to be doing a Triumph, and I was totally about to do a completely different trick. Oh my God. Oh boy. Okay, well that trick's kind of cool. Maybe if I have some time at the end, I'll show it to you guys. What do we have here? King, Jack. Doesn't matter. If I have some time at the end, I'll show it to you, but I'm definitely supposed to be doing a Triumph here, so yeah, I guess Triumph it is, and we definitely won't be needing those cards for this, so anyway, let's get into it here. So I like to start my Triumphs off and give it a quick shuffle, right? And then I'll sort of riffle down the back of the cards, find about the middle point so we can get a bunch of face up and a bunch of face down cards, right? Take those cards, and to the best of my ability, I will attempt to pharaoh those. There, that looks pretty good. All right, so you heard them shuffle, but I also want you to see them shuffle, right? You see there's cards face up, see there's cards face down, just a total mess, right? We can make it even more of a mess. We can take cards, we can add one here, you know, we can add one here. Just make sure there's a total mess of face up and face down cards, right? Now we need to pick one of these. It doesn't really matter which one. You guys can't pick one, so I'll pick one. Let's go King of Diamonds, yeah. Okay, we'll take that King of Diamonds. We'll leave it about halfway down here. No, it's not quite halfway. So we'll leave it about halfway down so you can see the condition of these cards, right? Total mess. We got face up, we got face down. I really want you guys to remember this image, right? Because watch, all I gotta do is square up these cards, just like this. Give it a little blow, and you'll notice every single card instantly fixes itself. Seriously, every single card. Every one except one. And of course, that one card is your King of Diamonds. Now, I gotta be honest, guys, that's pretty awesome. It's amazing, honestly, but it's not as hard as it looks. It's actually pretty easy, considering your King of Diamonds is the only blue card in the deck. Seriously, look, the only blue card in the deck. I'm not kidding, guys. Look, really, every single card is red besides your King of Diamonds. Now that is pretty crazy, but, I mean, here's what's interesting. You know, you could have picked any one of these, right? And your King of Diamonds happened to be the only blue card in the deck. Crazy, but let's get back to these cards for a second here, right? We can use these cards, and of course these cards are still blue because they weren't in the deck when I did all of this and changed them all to red, right? So we want to change these to red so that you have the only blue card in the deck. All right, so if I take these cards and just tap them on the back of the red like that, and then I'm also going to tap it on your card, and here's why, watch. And just like that, the cards all change into the red-backed cards, and your King of Diamonds pops into my hand. Now I know you're thinking, that's not my King of Diamonds. My King of Diamonds is not the red-backed King of Diamonds. My King of Diamonds is the blue-backed, and it's sitting right there on the deck. It's not red, it's right there, it's blue. Well, let's think about this. What would have to happen in order for this to be your King of Diamonds? Well, one, this card could no longer be the King of Diamonds. What else would have to happen? Well, we'd obviously have to take care of this blue back. So watch, if I just wave my hand over the cards, it actually changes right into your King of Diamonds. Now, unfortunately, guys, I'm not gonna have enough time to get to that other trick. Kind of ran out of time here, but just to give you an idea, if I did have time to do that trick, probably would have ended a little something like this.
So first things first, what you're going to need is 2 decks of cards with contrasting backs, and you're going to need a few cards from each. So from your main performance deck, what you're going to want to do is remove the King of Diamonds. Now, it doesn't matter which king, but I'm going to tell you the kings that I do just to keep track of everything. So you're going to remove the King of Diamonds. I've already done that. And then you're going to remove 6 random cards that are not kings. Okay? So you're going to take out 7 cards total. One of them has to be the King of Diamonds. Then you're going to take out the other 3 kings. Okay? Now these kings are going to go on the bottom of the deck with the King of Clubs on the face. Okay? That's your setup for that deck. Now from the other deck, you're going to take 5 random cards that are not kings, and then the King of Clubs and the King of Diamonds. Okay? Now the King of Diamonds goes on top of this deck first. Then we're going to put 2 of the random cards, the King of Clubs, and then 3 more random cards. So what you have in your full setup is 7 blue cards on top, the 4th one being the King of Clubs and the 7th one being the King of Diamonds. Then all the red cards, and then at the bottom you have the 3 red kings with the King of Clubs on the face, and that is your setup. You get rid of the other random red cards just so that the deck is the same size as it would normally be and you're more comfortable handling it. So first things first, you're just going to bring out the deck and you're going to give it a casual shuffle. And I like to shuffle off 4 cards and then 4 cards again, and that just keeps everything in order and gets that King of Clubs back to the 4th position. So I'll do that casually, just as a little convincer that this deck is all blue. And now what you're going to say is it doesn't really matter, so let's just use the first 4 top cards. These are kind of placeholder cards, and we'll get back to them in a second. So you just kind of say, you know, I want you to try to remember we got King, 4, 8, Ace, but it's not all that important. Now before you pick these cards up, as they're kind of looking at them, you're going to riffle off 3 cards and get a break above those 3 kings on the bottom. And we're about to do the Vernon edition. So if you need a tutorial for the Vernon edition, I've taught it over here. Next, what you're going to do, you're going to take those 4 cards, you can show the backs one last time, and you're going to shove them in all in a bunch in the deck. Be careful when you riffle that you don't flash those red cards when you're riffling to put these away. So you don't want to tilt to yourself either, because then you'll flash a duplicate King of Clubs. So you're just going to riffle like this, and I kind of put my hand in front to block it as I put those in. Then I kick them off to the side, and I say, you know what, instead of putting those into the deck, we're actually going to leave them here. And as I say that, I'm going to do the Vernon edition. So I'm going to grab these cards while moving these forward, steal these, replace them on the bottom, and then set these cards face up in a pile. So how that looks at speed is like this. So I say, you know what, we'll actually take those cards and we'll set them down there. Now what I've done is I've switched in those cards for the 3 kings, okay? But I'm not going to spread those. And then as a subtlety, I went, you know, so we got the king, the ace, the 4, whatever those cards were that you just set like this, you're going to just miscall a few of them. You know, you say, okay, so we got a 4, an 8, and an ace, and the king. Okay, it doesn't really matter though, we'll get back to those in a second. You set those off to the side. Now the position you should be in is 3 blue cards on top with 4 blue cards on the bottom. Now you're going to shuffle these blue cards from top to bottom without flashing that duplicate king, so you just turn slightly to yourself, shuffle off the first one, showing the back, right? 2, 3, 4, and casually throw it on top. getting those 7 blue cards back to the top. Now you're gonna half pass about 1/3 of the deck. Okay, so you're gonna half pass about 1/3 of the deck. So now you have 7 blue, a bunch of face down red, and then a bunch of face up red. If you need a tutorial on the half pass, I've also taught that over there. You're also gonna maintain a break above that half pass, or you can just casually riffle and find that natural break. You're gonna get a break there, and then you're gonna shuffle 6 of the face up blue cards on top of these cards, okay? But you have to conceal that 8. So you do the first one slightly tilted like this and really fast, so it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you won't flash that 8 if you do it that way. And you just have to make sure also that you don't flash this up here and you place those on top, maintaining a break. Now you're gonna say, you know, I'm gonna riffle down the back and try to find that halfway point. What you're doing is just, you know, taking off above the break of those 6 cards. So you lift up and you say, now we'll take these face up cards and we're gonna shuffle them into face down. So you take that top packet, flip it face up, and show them all like this. Now you should, if you followed everything carefully, that King of Diamonds should be the blue cover card on top of the deck here, and that's important for in a second. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a Pharaoh shuffle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but what you wanna do is make sure the face up card goes on top, right? So you're gonna make the face up card go on top, and you're doing a straddle Pharaoh. So the face up card's on top, and then the blue cover card, that King of Diamonds, is on the bottom. Okay, and then you want, you know, a decent Pharaoh near the top. And what that's gonna do, when you shuffle everything, it should interlace them fairly closely to one at the top, while putting a face up cover card on top and that face down King of Diamonds at the bottom. It doesn't really matter what you do as long as you have a face up, at least one, it could be 2, it could be 3, but at least one face up cover cards on top, and then the King of Diamonds on the bottom. So if you do a straddle Pharaoh, you will get that to happen. And this is where you do Danny Ortiz's Open Triumph. Now I'm not gonna expose that too much because it is still a product, but I'm just gonna kind of walk through kind of how I did it and how I set up for it. It's a very beautiful triumph. What you're gonna do is you're gonna spread through, and when you get past that first face down card, you say, look, we can take cards from the bottom, and you're gonna take the King of Diamonds, pull it from the bottom, and just put it here. It doesn't really matter, we can go through, we can add a card here, we can add a card here, and you're good. Now you're gonna tell them, look, it doesn't really matter, again, what card we use, so I'm just gonna choose the King of Diamonds in this case. And that's important, you choose the king, okay? And that's again for this Sleight Off routine. Then what I did is you're gonna take that king, and I'm gonna place it kind of near the top of the deck. While I say, let me put this somewhere near the middle. And say, look, that's actually not very far down, and as I do that, I'm gonna shift these to the bottom, grab this card and say, let's put it a bit deeper, and I'm gonna out jog it kind of like this. What I like to do is dribble these to the table, but you have to do it in a very careful way, or you can spread them in your hands. Put everything down like this, and it gives a really nice illusion of a mixed deck. Now you're gonna go through and you're gonna say, look, you can see your card there, you know, I wave my hand, but until the last moment when I close everything and I blow, and everything's fixed. Now you're just gonna do a fan, but you're gonna leave a block at the top and a little block at the bottom, and it looks like everything has fixed itself. Now make sure you don't flash the bottom when you do this. Make sure you don't come up and fan like that. You just have to practice it a little bit, and that'll give you a nice fan where it doesn't flash anything but the middle. And if you flash a little bit here, you can just kind of pinch to close it and spread there, saying, look, everything has fixed itself except for one card, and that is your card. Now you close everything up, you can say, look, now that was very easy, because obviously, you know, you might not know this, but your card is actually the only blue card in the entire deck. No, seriously. And now when you flip over, you do the same kind of fan where you conceal the top and bottom block, and it'll look like the deck instantly changes into all red. So you say, no, seriously, look, they're all red cards. Now you close everything up, and then at this point, you're gonna flip everything face up. You're gonna push aside the top card for a second, and then push over the second card from bottom, and you're gonna flip it on top of the deck, so you have a blue card on top of the deck, okay? If you've done this right, that second card will be that blue card. So again, once you've done your fan reveal here, you close, flip over, push this card to the side casually, and then out jog that card as you get ready to kind of half pass it. And you can say, look, no, seriously, that's your card. And then here I'm gonna just straddle it and half pass it. So from this angle, it kind of looks like that. As I then go and I'm gonna do the dribble. So I'm gonna dribble a couple cards in a pile. So that's gonna conceal that block of blue cards. Okay, so dribble in a pile, and then I dribble a long spread, and then when I get to the end, when I still have a little block, I set those down. And it's the same kind of hidden display when you do it like this. After you've done that display and you close everything up, you can flip the deck over without revealing that blue card. You're gonna get a break under it, okay, without revealing that blue card. You're gonna take the king and set it on top, and then hold the deck. So that's what that apparent blue card is. Now I take it and I do a one-handed top palm while picking up these cards without flashing the red backs. So I pick them up like this, I do the one-handed top palm while I set the deck down, And now it seems like that's still the king, but I have the king here and I place it on top as I show these backs are still blue. Now I'm gonna do the same kind of dribble display to make it look like I have a bunch of red cards with that blue king on top, and I say, look, so that's your king there, the one blue card in the deck, except these kings. Now they didn't change because they weren't in the deck when I made the cards change, but watch what I can do. And you flip these over and you say, look, if I just tap these cards on the back of the red, then you're gonna block push off these and flick them into your hand, and it gives the illusion that they've just changed color. So if you do it at speed, it's like, watch, if I tap the red cards, they instantly change into the red backed cards, just like that, including your king. Now I know what you're thinking. That's not my king. This is a red back king. My king is that blue back king on the top of the deck. While you do that, you're gonna do the killer switch. I've taught the killer switch. If you wanna learn it, there you go. Pull back on that top card as you display the king and pretend to put it on top, but you're actually feeding it in that slot. Okay, so you do that from the front. As you square everything up, then you're gonna pick up on that king, and you can actually pick up that as a double and now show that it's a red backed king. Okay, so again, you say, look, and I'm doing the killer switch here, so I kill the wrist, pull this back, and I say, look, I know what you're thinking. This isn't your king because your king is that blue back king here. This is a red back king, and your king isn't a red backed king. Now I'm just gonna hold that double for a second, and I'd say, look, let's think about what would need to happen to make this king become that king. Well, first of all, this could not be your king anymore, so watch. You snap, and you flip it over and reveal it is no longer the king. And then you say, and then we'd have to change this red backed king to a blue backed king. And you're gonna do a quick color change. All you do, you pick up that double, you're gonna hold it into a clip, right? A clip over here. You're gonna peel off that card, and then you're gonna come back with the hand and wave that over top. And that's your color change. So at speed, you say, look, and the last thing I need to do is change this red backed king into a blue backed king. And now, you know, they'll freak out and you say, look, and now I have that blue backed king of diamonds. Now, if you remember here, we had the king of clubs, the ace of hearts, the four of hearts. And what's interesting is at the end of this, the reason I wanted to get back to these cards is because something truly magical can happen. We've been changing the backs, but watch what happens when I want to change the face. Once again, I tap this on the king. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 kings. So that is the routine. Quite long, quite hard, a lot of things going on. I ran through that very quickly, but again, if you like that and you want to learn that routine, you can watch the performance and you can watch this breakdown. That's exactly how I did it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. That is an awesome little routine. For me personally, I do like the sort of updated CC Triumph. I just think it makes a bit more sense, as well as it being easier. Though this routine is pretty cool, a lot of neat little things going on and using different moves in different ways. So hopefully you got some value from seeing how this routine was accomplished as well. Let me know in the comments which routine you liked more, which one you would perform. Make sure you go check out Danny Doherty's Open Triumph so you can really get a sense for how the Open Triumph aspect of this routine works. So guys, if you'd like to check out some private lessons or join my membership where you can unlock my Mentalism Masterclass course going over everything in practical mental magic, you can check that out at the link below. And with all that said, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.